Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Sell More Book Show, episode 616. I'm Brian Cohen from Best Page Forward and the Author Ad Agency, joined by A.K. DuBoff, aka Amy DuBoff, a wonderfully successful sci-fi author. Amy, how are you today?
I am doing great. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. There was no question, in part because we record 2 episodes. I'm just very happy. Like, I love when authors that I've had a chance to work with, that I've had a chance to like literally work with in your capacity as a former author ad agency account manager, to see success happen in the future and for you to have learned things. I mean, like, was there any point during your kind of 10 years of trying to make it happen? And you did other wonderful stuff. You wrote a movie that was produced, which is amazing. You've done all sorts of other cool stuff. Like, was there any point where you were like, maybe I should do something else because these aren't really paying the bills?
You know, it's funny because this series that hit within the last year was going to be kind of my last sci-fi attempt. Not that I would abandon the genre for the rest of my life forever, but that was kind of my goal has always been let me be, full-time author. And the other ones were, it was still closer to hobby income than the replacing full-time income in the more recent years. So this was kind of the last ditch. Like, let's do it. And it was the one that hit. So like, okay, I guess I'm sticking with space opera. But yeah, I had considered jumping over to fantasy or lit RPG or one of those others that had a little more maybe more in line with some of the storytelling things that I like. I think my style is perhaps a bit more suited to more like epic fantasy than some of the modern sci-fi. But it was cool that it did hit for me.
That's amazing.
I did, I'm working for ad agency actually worked out to be the perfect side gig during those years that that the income from the writing alone was not so. So it is possible to have a side job that can contribute to the other aspect of the author biz, because writing is not the only thing that we have to do.
Right. I think Best Page Forward has had maybe 4 people leave the company because they were making too much in book sales to continue, which, come work for me, you guys. I'm here to help. No, I love something that's always been important to me, and it's just, I don't know, in this age of AI and this age of like hiring overseas and this age of all this stuff that people do to save money, I'm just like, well, I want to hire authors, and I want money to be circulated from the author community to the author community, and that's always been an important thing for me. And it's not something I talk about all that much because I don't know, I feel kind of jerky talking about it, like, oh, look at me, I'm trying to make authors money, but like, it really is something that I think has worked out, because as sad as I was to see you leave and folks like Phoebe Ravencroft and Claire Taylor work for me for a time, and various other people, it's just like, it's so awesome. It's so cool that this served its purpose. Like, working for Best Page Forward at that time served its purpose for you and for those other folks, and I'm just feel very lucky to have been a part of your journey on this. And I say this honestly, like, don't forget me when you're super famous.
Never. I made a commitment very early on that I would never forget the people that were there for me early on, and you are at the top of that list of helping me take this step forward in my writing career. And never apologize for wanting to be that person to help writers. I will be a personal testimony to you truly caring about the people that work for you and being a wonderful guide in that. And everyone who has a chance to work with you is a better person for it, in my opinion.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna get a little teary here, but I'll push through. I'll push through for you guys. I appreciate that, Amy. Thank you very much. Go check out Amy's books at amyduboff.com. Let's go into the fun here. I'll mention one other thing. I have a new course, and we just launched it last week at the webinar, called Royalties Rising. And I have done like smaller, like workshopy things, but ad school was always the course until now. Now we have a new full course that includes modules created just for this course by 100,000 plus TikTok follower, 6-figure author Jessica Cage on how to grow your TikTok and Instagram following. We are going to have new advanced Amazon ad modules created by me live that you can actually be there at the taping of the modules. We're going to have new modules created on essentially writing pitches in order to get your writing to market more in line with what readers expect. Those are going to be live modules. We've got all sorts of other materials along with it. You get a one-on-one session with Quinn Ward, who helped mentor Amy through her Amazon ad journey. And yeah, we're really excited to put that out there. And it is a lifetime access course. It's not like Ad School Unlimited, where it's a membership essentially. So go check it out. We'll have the link in the show notes, but we would love to raise your royalties with Royalties Rising. So go check that out. Let's go to previous week's question. I'll ask this to you as well, Amy. What is one piece of your brand profile that you could go ahead and make an update to? Patrick O'Connor said, maybe my author logo symbol. Shane Kalilak said, I could create one. I was just asked for my logo for a speaking engagement coming up fast, and I was like, a logo? I think Best Page Forward has like 7 different logos, by the way. Amy, what would you update for your brand profile?
Well, so I went through a rather significant branding activity a couple years ago, and so I try to keep that fairly consistent. I kind of have my Nebula thing going on, but one thing that I always like to keep updated is the header image on the various social medias. I have some featured books on there, so if ever you have a new release, make sure that you get that updated, and make sure that you have your more recent titles there showcased as well.
I have definitely had points in my career where I did not do that for several years. So this is great advice, Amy. Thank you for sharing that. And y'all can always answer the question of the week over at sellmorebookshow.com or at the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group. Top story of the week, pre-order previews. Quote, pre-ordering a Kindle ebook now gives you access to an excerpt of the unpublished work, reports Nate Hofelder in a recent edition of his Monday Morning Coffee, or at least it will after January 12th, end quote. That's right. If you have a live pre-order on Amazon right now, your book might already have a reading sample available. The feature is similar to the read sample feature that displays for published ebooks today, says Amazon in their KDP community post. Quote, it'll show a preview of up to 10% from your current manuscript's content to engage potential readers, end quote. In their post, Amazon says that pre-orders without a placeholder manuscript won't have a reading sample, so the feature won't be displayed. If you have uploaded a manuscript, final or not, a sample will be generated automatically. If you have a draft manuscript uploaded that you feel doesn't represent your book to your satisfaction, you have options. You can update a more appropriate file, upload a coming soon manuscript, or ask Amazon to remove the reading sample altogether. Remember, KDP reminds you, quote, you are not required to upload a manuscript to maintain your existing pre-order until 72 hours before your release date, end quote. January 12th has already passed, so if you do have a pre-order right now, it might be time to see how it looks and make changes if necessary. For more details on the feature and instructions on how to remove it, check out the link in our show notes. Amy, you have a pre-order up. Do you have a placeholder manuscript?
So I used to put a placeholder manuscript until I heard a couple of horror stories. I don't know how true they were because they didn't happen to me personally, but of like the wrong version getting published and those things. So now I only ever upload the manuscript until I have the version that I am sending to the final proofreading. So it's already been through all of the editing. It's pretty darn close. It's just going to be, maybe a handful of typos left in it. So I always wait to upload until that version. So that, maybe a week out or so. So I never want to wait until that 72-hour one, but there's a middle.
And it's like ticking down those last minutes. Yeah, that's scary stuff. I would not do that either.
I know I have the final one already in there, but I see the ticking clock. So that's my process. I think that if you're doing like a book one and you're trying to build some hype for that and you would like to utilize that look inside feature, you could do something sooner. But I think at least for sequels, that general process has been a great way to go for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point you bring up for these book ones, especially let's say you're trying to write to market. You really want people to see that. You want people to put in a pre-order. Hot potato wisdom question. How do you think you would optimize a reader sample for a pre-order of a book one? Book is not completed. What do you think you would do?
I think one of the things that you already advise students to do is not have a bunch of stuff at the beginning of the book. But I think with this new feature, it's even more important to not have a bunch of salesy thing or just anything that's going to distract people from getting into that story. Just to have all of just the minimum number of things up front, maybe, a copyright page, title page, and then let's just get into the book to really give people the most sample that they can have in there. And I haven't actually come across a pre-order that has had this visible, so I'm not sure if it's the same quantity that they have for the regular sample, which I think is 10% of the book. So if you had something that was shorter, but they're only 10% of that file, then you'd have to factor that in with how much a person's actually going to see.
Right. So you need the first chapter.
Yeah.
You need the first chapter copied over and over again or something in order for it to actually have the length that you need.
Yeah. So I think that would just be something to keep in mind. You wouldn't want to just upload a really short document because it's just going to be 2 paragraphs otherwise. If you truly do want people to read a full amount.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense. You've got a question here for me.
So, what do you think? Why do you think Amazon created this feature, and what's in it for them?
So, why does Amazon do anything? Well, sometimes Amazon does something because some junior account manager is just trying to show their worth, and so they make a tweak for tweak's sake. So sometimes that does happen, no question. That there have been firings in the KDP team, Author Central teams over time. So people want to prove their worth, so they do something. I'm not so sure that's what's happening here. Amazon has data. Amazon has numbers. Amazon has numbers we don't have access to. Number of samples downloaded, number of conversion rate of sample to purchase. They have that data. Are they using it? I don't know. But they do have that data. One wonders if someone was looking at pre-order data versus order data, and they found that because of the lack of samples, conversion rate was lower, which made ads work worse, which made ad conversion worse, which made it so that they didn't make as much money. So this could be Amazon using their data to try to make more money. No idea. I don't work at Amazon. I just know how they think sometimes. And so it could be that, or it could be the former where they're just making a tweak so that someone can keep their job. No way of knowing for sure.
Yeah, I think those are very good thoughts. I hope that it improves the customer experience and helps the right readers find the right authors.
Oh yeah, me too. It's jury's out on if it will, but hopefully you are right. So
Let's see.
We've got, yeah, that's all we can hope for. We've got another lightning round here, another lightning sound here that you've been practicing for hours. I just know it. So Amy, you have the floor.
Kaboom!
I like that. I thought both of yours were good and for different reasons.
Rather than the upper this time, because the microphone did not like the crackly attempt.
I think you made the right choice. So, going into the lightning round, Amy, how has book marketing changed since you started?
I think it's gotten a heck of a lot more visual than it used to be. Now, before it was kind of like the book cover, and that was about it. But now we have video ads, we have all sorts of marketing on Facebook that's either image or video, and even in the Amazon ecosystem, you have like the brand ads with the images, multiple images on a carousel in some cases. So that has probably been the single biggest change. Is it's no longer just a little statement about the book and then the book cover.
That's a really good point. That is a really good point. I hadn't even thought of it that way, but you're, especially with the advent of more social media, Facebook used to be all text posts. Now there's images. Now there's Instagram, which is all images. Now there's TikTok, which is images and videos. You are absolutely right. You've got a question for me.
How has book marketing stayed the same since you started?
Book marketing remains a numbers game. It has always been a numbers game. How many clicks do you get on the ad? How many sales do you get from that click? How many email addresses do you have on your list? How many clicks you get on those emails? How many sales you get? How many reviews can you get? Well, that's going to be based off the number of emails you have, the amount of money you pay to one of these legitimate review sites. There are a lot of things that we like to pretend there isn't a system for. We're like, I have no idea why nobody bought my book. Well, how many people are on your email list? 20 people. Well, that is why nobody bought your book. You have to play the numbers game. And I was doing a little segment for my Pathfinder coaching students, folks who are making over $2,500 a month in royalties. And I was saying kind of some of the things I'd learned from being in a higher level mastermind myself, where there are folks making significantly more money than I make. And something that never changes for those folks is they're always gathering more potential customers. Always. It's not like they have on times where like, oh, they're doing a launch, they do a thing. And then there's down times where they do nothing. There's no down times. They're always having some free lead magnet. They're always having some small priced thing that they put out there into the world and collect people's email addresses. That they do that because it's a numbers game. It's Pokemon. You got to catch them all. You got to catch all the readers. If you have more readers, you sell more books. It's just the way it works. And that will never change.
Yeah, I agree. There, as much as we don't want it to be the case, there is a pay to play kind of aspect to it. You have to spend money to make money, as they say.
Right. And look, are there ways to spend time and do the numbers game? Absolutely. There are automation features on Instagram. You build up your big Instagram following. You could potentially collect email addresses with something like ManyChat, and that is not paying, but it is paying in sweat equity. Either way, you're going to either sweat or you're going to pay.
Yep. I agree completely. Yeah. And I do try to do a lot of the sweat equity stuff myself, though you get to a certain scale that like it's more cost effective to just pay some money for ads rather than do that. But starting out, I was very judicious with the spend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think everybody is at the start. I think everybody is. So third question here, you always seem to have a pre-order set for 1 or 2 books into the future. How do you find this helps you both with your writing and your marketing?
So from a writing perspective, having a ticking clock is very motivational for me. I it is helpful to have a firm deadline. If I don't have a pre-order, I try to set a date for myself, but nothing is as good as an actual pre-order date. So I always do set them out a little bit further than I would ideally be releasing it, because I want to have a little bit of a buffer just in case life stuff happens and I'm unable to get it out as quickly as I would like. But knowing that it's there is good. Like, we should really get those words done today. But from a marketing perspective, I think there's no better time to capture a reader going on to the next book in the series than the moment that they finish the current book that they're reading in the series. So having at least the next book out is a great way to capture that. I always like to include a link to that at the end of the book and encourage readers to go pre-order. Now, that's not going to do a lot of good for the Kindle Unlimited readers. It would be nice, Amazon, if you could come up with a remind me, kind of like how Netflix has on there, remind me when this title comes out. Now, hypothetically, we get that if they are following your author profile, but as we know, those notifications are a little bit hit or miss. Having a specific notification for a book would be wonderful.
That's a great feature idea. Yes, everybody, email your Amazon representative, and let's get that to happen. You've got a question for me, Amy.
What is your biggest bang for the buck when it comes to outsourcing?
All right, so I have a whole thing about this, because outsourcing, when you're first starting out, you're just trying to outsource the things that you hate doing. And that's because you would rather be writing, of course. Eventually, you move on to outsourcing things that, aren't your super strengths, but they're things you could do on your own, but you just literally, there aren't enough hours in the day. Eventually, you are going to want to outsource things that make you money. And that's the thing that they don't talk about that often when it comes to outsourcing, is we tend to outsource thing that I hate doing that doesn't make me money 1, thing that I hate doing that doesn't make me money 2, thing that I hate doing that doesn't make me money 3, because they drive us nuts. And maybe you should be doing those, and maybe you shouldn't be doing those. But this past year, I've been outsourcing more of a outreach to potential clients. The author version of that might be running those email promos through Story Origin and BookFunnel, so you get more readers on your list. I've been outsourcing more things that could eventually lead to something like community building, or like connecting with my Facebook group and providing answers and telling them things, like things that might make me money by virtue of people becoming more my fan. Like, we have so many things that we outsource that it's like a total negative, because now we're not doing the thing and we're paying someone to do the thing, but we don't make any actual more money. But if you're paying someone to do something that could make you more money, that's a different story, because eventually it will pay off. This past year, Best Page Forward made, I just got the P&L, I just got the profit loss, $1.609 million.
Wow.
And we spent more than $1 million on people and things. And it's like allocating more of the spend to things that made us money allowed the company to grow. And that is how you grow. It isn't just by outsourcing, it's by outsourcing things that allow you to grow.
I think that is excellent advice. Yeah, and
Oh,
that's
thanks.
where things like having someone run your ads for you can be a very good investment.
Yes, yes. And I pay people to run our Facebook ads. So it's like, you know, we even us, an ad company, says yes, go and outsource. We're even outsourcing our ads. So Amy, you have a new podcast coming out. What do you hope that the Sci-Fi Chat podcast will achieve for you in reaching more readers?
I really wanted a way to connect directly with readers and other authors in the indie sci-fi community. As you know, I live out in the countryside. I don't have a lot of in-person interaction. So I thought just we'll start out with something, maybe a couple times a month, get together, talk a combination of writing, craft, and fandom, and just have a way to connect with people that I don't get to chat with face to face on a regular basis. So it'll be through screen, but it's the next best thing to hanging out in person. And I just hope it'll become a fun spot where people who like the genre will want to come in and watch and contribute questions and just form a little community of our own.
I love that. I hope it's a huge success for you.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it. We'll probably, I'd say next month sometime will likely be the launch.
Okay, everyone go check that out. Sci-Fi Chat Podcast. Amy, we need a question of the week. We've talked about this pre-order sample. We could talk about this. How has book marketing changed? How has it stayed the same? That's an interesting one. Where does your brain lead you on this one?
Ooh, well, given that last comment that I just made, what about something related to connecting with other authors? How can you grow your connection to your the author community in your genre?
I like that. How would you like to, in what way do you plan on connecting with more authors in your genre and more readers of your genre in 2026?
Love it.
Great idea there. Thank you. You can answer the question of the week over at the Sell More Book Show website, or at the Sell More Book Show After Party Facebook group. Go to amyduboff.com to pick up some amazing sci-fi books. Definitely go check out her flagship series, Starship of the Ancients. It took her away from me, but no, I'm just kidding. But it's had such great success. If you like sci-fi, then you will love this series. Amy, always a delight to catch up with you, and I appreciate you being on the show these last 2 weeks.
Likewise, great to see you, and happy writing to everyone listening.
Yes, love it. We'll have another wonderful guest co-host next week. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great week of book selling, and we will be back for episode 617. Bye.